Is there anybody listening? Is there anyone that sees what's going on? Read between the lines, criticize the words they're selling. Think for yourself and feel the...
Good morning and welcome back to the trailer park. I am Chanda-Masta and this is your midweek recap. How's the sound, guys? Let me know out there in the chats. I had to tweak it a little bit this morning. Maybe I'm not too loud. Maybe I'm too loud. I don't know. I never can. You never know. You just never know. How's it going out there? Hey, chat. Good to see you. Midnight Karma, Snore Leopard, Lizzie Popeye, Natalie Williams. Natalie, I heard you get shouted out over at Jimmy Dore the other day. How cool is that? Who else is in here? Uncle Warren, good morning, good day, whatever time of day it is where you're at. Jax is in the house. Hi, V. How are we? Okay, let's see. Oh, Rokfin's up. Is the Rumble up? Probably help if I logged in, right? That's how that works. How is everybody? How's the weather in your neck of the woods, right? That's what our weather guy always says. In your neck of the woods. Why do woods have necks? That must be a kickback to an old thing, right? Let's get logged into Kick. We are now on Kick. I like Kick. Kick's got a really clear picture, and the only problem is when I log in, I'm going to hear myself. I don't want to hear myself. I hate the sound of my own voice. There, I got it. Good morning. Oh, it's Cold Fusion's over there. So is Dingo. Dingo ate me, baby. Who is okay? It's Dingo. I put that in my cart. That reader. You know, I used to manage a mechanic shop not too long ago, just a couple of years ago, for a Scientologist of all fucking people. But that's a whole nother story. And my brother was the head mechanic. My brother's a mechanic, and I'd always, bug him. Hey, will you take your thing out there and reset? I got dummy lights everywhere. These stupid smart cars. Not that my car is smart, but it's a 2008, so it has a lot of the onboard computer shit. So I knew exactly what you were talking about when I saw it in the chat. I was like, oh, hell yeah, I want one of those. So I threw one of those cheap ones in my Amazon cart. I plan on picking it up shortly. And yeah, I'll just go in there and shut a lot of those off. The problem is I have a plugged catalytic converter, and I wish somebody would just steal the damn thing, but it hits that O2 sensor, and then it gives a false reading to the engine because of the back pressure that's in the motor. So I'm constantly overriding that one. But hey, who's got $2,500 to replace their catalytic converter? So not me, but those pesky little smog emissions, because we're saving the planet so John Kerry can race his wife's jet around the planet. We're going to talk about that today. I tell you every day, guys, I've got a huge deck. This one's not only huge, but it's dense. Like each slide has mass on it. You can just look at my shows and know that I probably put 8 to 10 hours into creating them, the research of it. I don't want to talk to you guys about something that I don't fucking know what I'm talking about. I just feel like a moron, because that happens sometimes, and so I want to know everything about a topic before I come at it, and it just makes the process long. How is everybody? Gregory. Good morning, Gregory. And Ronnie Graham. Ronnie, we're closing with your Curtis Mayfield today. Hey, tech support. I need your help. How's my sound? DC's in the house. How's it going? Gamer. Hey, Gamer. I see you, Gamer. What's up, Jilly? I got a lot of today's slides from Jilly. Jilly, I'm not kidding when I tell you guys, Jilly half writes these shows. She does. She just fills the DMs up, and I go over there and pull them. So it works well. Guess what? I was sitting here last night and I was writing today's show, and Hunter was outside. I still have the granddaughter Hunter, and Cold Fusion. He's in the middle of his stream, and all of a sudden, just boom, sonic boom goes through the house, shakes all the glass. I mean, you could feel it hit you in the chest. It was like, what the hell was that? So I go running outside. I'm like, Hunter, are you okay? What was that? And she's like, I don't know, Nana. It sounded like it was way over there. So immediately I get on Facebook, because that's what we do nowadays when there's an emergency in your area, right? And it turns out a house blew up about a mile from my house. I'm going to guess gas line, maybe. We haven't heard yet, but it was like a fucking war zone a couple of blocks from my house yesterday, and it damaged all the neighbors' houses too. But it was crazy because we had a ton of helicopters going over before it happened. So I was like, oh, is this it? Is this it? Are we going to war now? Like, who bombed us? Was it China? Was it Russia? Was it us? I don't know. Probably was us. But when you have something like that happen, I mean, it shook me. Like, I was scared. Like, oh man. Last I heard, there was reports of people missing. So I don't know yet. Hopefully this morning I'll get more of this story. But it was absolutely crazy, that feeling of, you know, that sonic boom. I can't imagine what the people of Ukraine lived through, right? Having to listen to that, or the people of Syria or Yemen or Gaza. I mean, it unearthed me, and I couldn't imagine living through that every day. But that's what Americans bring to the rest of the world. So there we are. Okay, let's get started. Enough BS. And hi, Kim. P Stuff's in the house. Yeah, it scared the shit out of me. What the fuck? Okay, well, let's get the BS out of the way. And you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/trailerpark. Actually, I've been calling it Buy Me a Mile because I've been asking you guys to help me get my car fixed so I can get to the airport, so I can get places. I live about 3 hours away from the airport, so I can't even get to the airport in order to get to Honduras or Venezuela or any of these places we would like to go observe. Of course, Pasta from the Convo Couch is in Honduras right now. Check that out if you get a chance. And of course, I do have my GoFundMe up. It is in the link below. Of course, the link tree is up too. You can get there. And I want to thank everybody who's helped me out, especially the last couple of weeks. You guys have been so amazing. Doug, huge shout out. Thank you. And a certain somebody out there, you know who you are. You help so many in independent media. And I'm just so thankful that you include me on that list, because that to me, that's everything. Like, oh my gosh, I'm treated like I'm a real journalist. I'm a real boy. So thank you guys so much. And hopefully I can get to the Land of Oz next month. And I looked at car rentals because my car needs to go to the shop, and I got an appointment on the 31st for it. But that's just what do they call it? Estimate. So who knows when I'll actually be able to get the work done, because I live in a very rural area. There's not a lot of good mechanics. And so I was like, oh, I'll just rent a car for a couple of days and cruise down and see Oz. Oh my God, I about fell over. I could damn near put a down payment on a car for as much as they want for a 3 or 4 day rental. I about fell over. How do I always get deals when I fly into other cities? I guess you really get good deals when you mix your airfare and your hotel with the car. Cause I'm used to paying like $40, $50 a day for a car, not $150 a day for a car. I about fell over. Just like, what? Okay, let's get this started with this day in history. Hopefully I can see this. Oh yeah, I can see it. Okay, as long as it's up on the big screen, I can see it. So we had a couple of birthdays today. Brian May of Queen, it's his birthday. It's Lizzie Borden's birthday too. Who else was it? Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks. Happy birthday, dirtbag. Anyways, let's see. Can I see some of the? I can't see. 1922, American liberal and politician George S. McGovern, who served as a U.S. senator from 62 to 1980, was an unsuccessful candidate for presidency in 1972, was born in Avon, South Dakota. Is that where Avon got its name? I wonder. Huh. Oh, in 1860, Lizzie Borden, who was suspected of murdering her stepmother and father, but was acquitted in a trial that became a national sensation in the United States, was born in Fall River, Massachusetts. So she was acquitted on the same day that she was born. Oh, it was her birthday. Wow, that's crazy. A lot of people still think she did it, that she got away with it and she got all the money. You could go tour her house. Did you know that her house is still there? That's just creepy. I think even the couch that like her dad was bludgeoned to death on is still there. Crazy things. 1980, the Summer Olympics opened in Moscow, though 60 countries refused to attend because of the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in 1979. It was the largest boycott in the history of the Olympic movement. Hey, why aren't they boycotting us? We've invaded a lot of countries. I don't understand. So it's just Russia. If they do it, it's bad. But if we do it, it's all good. Yeah, I don't get that. And American actor James Garner, who perhaps was better known for his roles in television series Maverick and Rockford Files, died at 86. Yes, we miss him. I loved the Rockford Files. Who didn't? And of course, you can't leave out the Notebook, right? I think that was like one of his biggest movie roles. And on this day in 1941, Tom and Jerry debuted. Boy, cartoons was everything to us kids, wasn't it? I mean, My kids had Cartoon Network and we had video and DVD. I could watch Barney on a fucking loop, but when we were kids, we lived for cartoons. Are you kidding? They were only on certain times, like Saturday morning. You might get a couple in the afternoon, few hours, before the news. Like, it was a big deal. I love me some Brian May too. Everything I put on my deck is because I like it. So that's why I put it on there. But yeah, cartoons were a big deal, and love me some Tom and Jerry. I heard a crazy theory about Scooby-Doo the other day that Fred was a draft dodger, because if you think of the time that it came out, and Daphne was his fiance, and so that's why they ran, and they took the hippie Shaggy and his dog with them, and Velma was an anti-war activist, and that's how she ended up, because they never were really going anywhere, were they? They were always just constantly moving. It could be true. I don't know. Was Fred a draft dodger? I guess is the real question. We shall know. So this story I'm going to start out with is kind of crazy because this happened to me personally yesterday. So this is me in the morning. Don't talk to me until I've had my morning sponsored content, data harvesting, corporate propaganda, government psyop, doom scroll, right? Because that's what we all do first thing in the morning when we get up. And so I'm scrolling and I see this Ancestry post, this paid promotional advertisement in my feed, because every other thing in my feed is a promotion, right? And yours too. And it says, how much do you know about your journey that led to you? Start your discovery for free, right? A lot of us have done the Ancestry like tree where you just go in and you look at the names, fill out the names. You can go back and look at old census records, family photos, stuff that other people have uploaded, because really anybody can put whatever the hell they want on those ancestry trees. And I know because I'm attributed to being the mother of a couple of my exes kids he had after me. Like, I don't know, the whole thing's effed up. It's not, mine's not accurate. Some of it's accurate, but not all of it's accurate. So I was thinking back to a post that Jilly had sent me the day before, which said Blackstone reaches a $4.7 billion deal to buy Ancestry.com, right? And my first response to Jilly was, oh yeah, I heard about this a long time ago. I thought this happened years ago. Well, what happened was the government hadn't approved it, right? Because they approved these mergers so that way they're not breaking, trust laws. They can't take over. So it took them 3 years, almost 4 years for the government to say, okay, yeah, for Garland to say, yeah, we can let this go through, right? So I decided to comment on Ancestry's post, and I was just being a smartass. Come on, how many of us like troll like those? I will. You're a paid promotion. Why can't I come on and say something smart ass? I never expected Ancestry to write me back. Well, this is what happened. I said, sure, if you want BlackRock to have all your data. And then yesterday afternoon, I noticed Ancestry messaged me. I'm like, what? So I read it and it says, hi, Shanda. We are grateful to address your concerns about the announcement in our 2020 of our partnership with Blackstone. We released a blog post at the time, which provides more details on the subject. We would invite you to read it here. And they gave me the link. And then we also can confirm that our robust consumer privacy and data protection remains unchanged under our new ownership. You can learn more about our strong approach to such important matters within our dedicated privacy center here. And so I responded, Ancestry, geez, I was only joking. We know Blackstone, aka BlackRock, already has all of our personal data. And I did go to these links, and they are the most vomit worthy. Let's see, Blackstone to acquire Ancestry. So that was their blog post, basically. And what they say is nothing's going to change. You still have control of your data. We're not going to turn over any data information to any new entities. Oh, come on. Come on. That's why I said whatever. We already know they already have it. Is this a big deal? So apparently now they're paying trolls to get out there and to troll back. So beware, if you go and you troll on a paid promotion, you might end up having to have an exchange with them. But I just thought it was funny. Like, dude, get a life. Seriously, you can't see that this is a joke. So that's where the times that we live in. Do you guys hear? Did you hear? We found another, $1.3 billion for Ukraine. Yeah. We had another train derailment in Pennsylvania this week. Let's see. We had some stuff blowing up. Of course, addiction and homelessness is just everywhere. But no, we need more money for Ukraine because we have to beat Putin in this regime. So let's check it out. Somebody put up this great mix of Kiev and Philly. I know they want to call it Kiev. I grew up, it was called Kiev, but I don't, who am I? I just know my brain wants to say what I know. And you'll notice that I have a picture of Zelensky's mansion up here in the right-hand corner because, yeah, he needs more money.
I want to thank to all Americans. We understand that it's more than 43 billion for today. It's big support, and I understand that it's all your money, but you have to know that you spend this money for not just for party. You spend this money for our lives, and I think that we save the lives for Europe and for all the world.
Are you guys proud you're saving Europe and all of the world? Just not America, and definitely not Kensington Avenue in Philadelphia. No, not at all. And that's just gross. Look at that mansion. That is so gross. Yeah. What can you say? The U.S. just announced another $1.3 billion of aid package to Ukraine. Reminder, here's a picture of Zelensky's home. And yes, Newland, we know you did that. You had a little help, but you definitely did it. You definitely did it. Damn, moving to Kyiv. I hear you, right? I know. It looks much cleaner and safer than what we got going on. So let's look at what Biden was up to yesterday. I don't know. Maybe they need to put a shot collar on him just so they can keep him alive. I don't know. Check this out.
And we brought Israelis and Palestinians together at a political level and Akwa and all Shram. Yes. And as I affirmed the Prime Minister.
Oh my gosh. Did he even open his eyes for that? You know what? That's like having a conversation with all my junkie cousins. I'm not even kidding. That is a fucking nod if I ever saw it. You're awake. And that's what's going on Kensington Avenue. Because they're taking speedballs, they're so high and they're so low at the same time, and you're fighting that sleep because you want that high. That's exactly what he's doing. I know. I've worked in many Alzheimer's wards. You get them doped up like that and keep them just to where they're manageable. That's what they're doing. They're keeping them manageable. So gross. But let's hear from Pelosi. I'm not sure what this is. I bring a lot of content, so we'll see it together.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick them.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized up to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I have thought
an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight. And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh, yeah, that was the peace-loving Dems again, right? Could you imagine if somebody said that about Jill Biden? Well, you feckless cunt. I mean, that's just mind-blowing. That, yeah, they bring the violence, man, and they're still bringing it, right? But, oh, they're the virtuous ones. They're the ones with decorum. No, they aren't. And the more I learn about history, and you guys know I love history. I took a history quiz yesterday, and I came back either time traveler or historian. I missed 6 out of 100. Damn. And most of those were because I was outthinking myself, you know. I always do that. I overthink it. But I'm learning more and more that the Dems have been the terrible ones through history. And wait till I bring you the Democrat watermelon story. That one will blow your mind. But Democrats' treason, execution of the Lincoln coup d'etat conspires in 1865. This is what happened the last time the Democrats attempted a coup d'etat after losing a war and an election, and the punishment is still the same. What do you call it when the people doing the fact-checking are controlled by the same people doing the lying? You call that a fascist state. That's what you call that. Because it's a merger of corporate power with the government, right? Because that's what I see happening there. I love those quizzes and surveys. Me too. I can get sucked into those things for hours and hours, trying to prove myself smart. I guess that's what we do in the trailer park. Jose Vega, shout out. Oh my gosh, bringing it on AOC again. I love it. I love it. Keep it up. My friends and I visited at AOC in her Bronx office to tell her we don't want more warmongers in Congress. She endorsed Biden the same day that he sent cluster bombs to the Ukraine. She's weak-willed, spineless, a phony upholder of the war establishment. And so we got her a gift, and let's see what they get her. I don't think they got in. I don't think they were let in. She was probably hiding, fearing for her life, like on January 6th.
Hi, everyone. My Twitter friends and followers. You already know the deal. We're back at it again. We got the posters printed, and we decided to visit our favorite Congresswoman, AOC, who relocated her office just down the block from where I live. I'm a proud Bronx resident, and we actually wanted to deliver both a gift for her, one of the posters, because we believe that this perfectly encapsulates what her position in Congress has become, establishment. And we were going to deliver a message, if not to her staff. I'm sure she's probably not here herself physically, but I'm sure her staff is in there, and we've rung the bell 3 times now to get in. They have a little camera thing here, so I'm sure they don't want to let us in. And, you know, maybe that's a little embarrassing for them. The message we were going to deliver to the staff for AOC is that every single person that's standing behind me here and the person behind the camera once believed in AOC as an anti-establishment figure. Okay, we once believed that she would stand up against cluster bombs being sent to another country. We once believed that she would be an anti-war congressperson. And now she endorsed Biden on the same day that he announced he was going to send cluster bombs to Ukraine. So, to commemorate our coming here and not, being able to deliver our gift, we're actually going to leave her a gift. So, we're going to do 2 gifts here. We're going to do editing on this. So, we'll just, for the office. Let's put one down here too.
I love it. I would have glued it. I would have used some like 6,000. Make sure it ain't coming off. Yeah, that's too easy to remove.
Sides. Put one.
I would have put tape down every single part of it. Oh, two. Yes.
You should point to the address so anybody in the area.
So, that's good enough. Yeah. So, people should come and, talk to their congressperson or their staff and let them know how they feel about the Ukrainian war, let them know how they feel about cluster bombs, and demand that AOC either fight for us or get the hell out of our way. And that's what we're here to do and send the message. So stay tuned.
Good job. I love it. And of course, shame. That's a great shot of them. And hey, you guys could get yourself your own AOC poster by going over to Jose Vega's Etsy, which you can get there via his Twitter. And I say we all get some of these and just keep putting them in her face, because that's what she is and who she is, right? I knew. We all knew. So many of us called it out. I saw a post on my Facebook from like 5 years ago, and I was, or 6 years ago, and I was like, I was telling you she was a fucking fraud 5-6 years ago. It's easy to tell. It's so easy to tell which ones are the fraud. And right now, we don't have a single one inside Congress fighting for us. My congressman, go talk to him. I know where my congressman's office is, but let me tell you, he's hardly ever there. And he's got the worst attorney in the world. He rents a space in the worst attorney in the world's business. It's a house that they turned into a business anyways. He sees my blonde hair and he is running the other damn way. I've seen him sneak in and out of back doors to get away from talking to us. But, that's what I used to do when I'd fight for this man, Bernie Sanders. But Bernie Sanders isn't fighting for you, because just yesterday, he was hanging out with Joe Biden and meeting with the young workers and leaders to discuss the fight for better pay and better benefits. And I don't think for one second that Bernie's not fighting for those things. I think he wants those things. He's always wanted those things. But when it comes down to actually fighting on it, wearing a wig, Shannon? No, not wearing a wig. That's my hair. But it's funny. I'll tell you the hair story in a minute. So Bernie doesn't actually fight for, he fights for his comfy position. That's what Bernie fights for. That's what I've realized after all of these years now. Bernie's not actually fighting. I mean, if he can make it better for us, that's what he wants. But is he fighting for that? No, he's going with the roles. He wants to retire, with his name intact, not be a Ralph Nader. He doesn't want to be known as Nader. So that's why he's hanging out with his friend Joe. There you go. Giant Meteor 2024. Yeah, that's definitely where I'm at this time around. I am so Giant Meteor. Oh, so you guys, I'm not reading this again, but you remember this statement from Pramila Jayapal, right? This week I read it to you. And we were actually condemning her for her kind of walk back ass kissing of, well, Israel's they're bad, but I'm not saying bad things about them. I just don't agree with everything they do or say. Well, as we were piling on her for being weak, guess what? The Dems were tearing her down for, how dare you call Israel a racist state? How dare you? How dare you? So Pramila Jayapal apologizes after saying, we have been fighting to make it clear that Israel is a racist state. Yeah, she said it. She said it in that announcement. And we were like, oh, come on. That is such weak language. You could, it's apartheid. Oh, no, I won't actually go there. She won't actually go there. So this is just another one of those frauds that us progressives, so-called progressives, got behind in 2016, 2017, got elected, put them there, expected them to be anti-war, and they absolutely were not. They are 100% not. But they definitely can pile on and call the damn Republicans out constantly. So not only did she have to apologize for what she said about Israel, she went out there and she attacked Governor Abbott for his cruel and inhumane and plainly evil ways that he's treating the migrants. And because they put razor wire up around the Rio Grande and they're not offering them water during, extreme temperatures. Well, let me tell you, that shit is happening under the Democrats too. I know. I went there 2017. I went to the border, protested the School of the Americas. And one of the biggest things that we had a problem with was them dumping out water. And this started happening under Obama. They'll go out there, Border Patrol. If they find any water that's stashed in the desert, because people will go out there and put water for, the migrants when they come across. If they're lost out in the desert for 2 or 3 days, they'll have water. They dump the water out. So this isn't just something that just started under Abbott or under, this has been going on for a long time. But they love to dogpile and virtue signal at the same time. We definitely saw that with climate change yesterday. I got a couple of those coming up. And so, okay, yes, this is my real hair. What happened? So a couple of months ago, like a month and a half, summer's come in, and I was like, oh, you know what? I want it to be a little bit more platinum. So I pulled the color out. Well, I pulled too much color out. It was like gray platinum. It was like silver. So then I was like, oh, well, I'm going to put a little gold back in it. And I gave myself a chemical haircut. So, yeah, I have naturally curly hair. Guys, I straighten my hair every day. So that's why you think it's a wig. It's because I have to be kind to my hair for a couple of weeks and stop putting 400 degrees on it every day. But it's not a wig. I promise it's not a wig. Jayapal is who was tasked on destroying John Kerry's work on Medicare for All. She redrafted and chaired the committee that destroyed the progressive. Yeah, I know. Yeah, absolutely. Denver, she did 100% right. Oh, she was going to hit Medicare home. Please. They've gutted any good language that's in it right now anyways. So let's see. Third-party candidates like RFK Jr., Cornel West, and possibly Joe Manchin are the biggest threat to our survival as a free people who govern ourselves. Yeah. Entirely possible that a 2024 third-party candidate could intentionally or not tip the nation towards a fascist presidency, a presidential autocracy. Are you kidding me? We already live under a fascist presidential autocracy, right? Joe Manchin, why are they so scared of Joe Manchin? Don't they own Joe Manchin? That don't make sense to me. Thought they own Joe Manchin, but this is just funny, man. And this is what tribal law. I think this is a big law tuber, maybe. But yeah, no, I think you're scared of the wrong thing. You're fearing the wrong thing, I have to tell you. Okay, so Case Study QB has been out there killing it the last few days. Clip after clip after clip. And I always feel bad I don't get to bring enough Cornell stuff because I want to give Cornell as much time as I would give RFK Jr. And you guys know I ain't got no horse in this race. I mean, at this point, I don't know. 1 minute I'd say if I have to vote now, I'd probably vote for fucking Trump because I cannot stand RFK Jr.'s take on Israel. But then Trump's just as bad on Israel. So then I go, well, then I would have to vote for RFK Jr. But no, I can't vote for a Dem. I said I will never vote for a Dem again. So then I go, oh, well, that puts me voting for Cornell. People are like, well, third parties are never going to get a chance. They're never going to let a third party qualify for federal funding because they control the polls. I don't know, but my heart says Cornell's a good guy, and even for that matter, I think that Bobby's probably in. They're in it because they want to help the American people. I just how far are they actually getting? I mean, they're bringing the conversation to the table, and I guess that's what's important. Because at the end of the day, it's going to come down to can they keep Trump away? The polls are just got Trump through the roof right now. I mean. And they know it, and they're scared to death. So they're pulling this January 6th shit where they're trying to get Trump, indicted and for trial in D.C. Well, if that's the same reason they want to bring Assange to D.C. because of, the people that live there, the jury pool would definitely convict Trump, and they'll definitely convict Julian Assange. And that's why they want it drug into D.C. because they think the only way they're stopping Trump is if they can get him convicted. So I don't know how authoritarian that is. That seems like a dictatorship to me, but let's hear from Cornell. And I wish this one made me sad because, this was a 15-minute conversation he had with Anderson Cooper over on crappy CNN. stop giving CNN views. That's all he's doing is giving CNN views. But I get it. He's trying to reach the audience over there. I don't know if they're reachable, but Cornell should have pushed back harder on this, and it kind of made me sad that he didn't. So here we go.
I want to ask you, Senator Manchin up in New Hampshire tonight, he seems to be testing the waters there. He says the parties are too far to the left and to the right. What do you think of his politics?
Well, I just read the pamphlet Common Sense, and my God, they had the audacity to rename that after the great Thomas Paine's revolutionary pamphlet of January 10th, 1976, that was critical of all forms of hierarchy in the name of the dignity of those fly stone called everyday people. I don't think that the No Labels Party, with their hundreds of $millions flowing already, are fundamentally focused on what I'm concerned about, which is the plight of poor and working people, trying to come to terms with the cop cities. Why do the critiques of the cop cities, trying to come to terms with striking workers, be they in Hollywood, be they in Amazon, be they at UPS, coming to terms with the echo side, with the fossil fuel companies, steel, corporate greed running out of control. We're at a moment now, my brother, where if we don't come to terms with this massive callousness and indifference to the plight of poor and working people, we're going to lose everything. The planet, democracy, qualitative relations with each other. That's how life and death, like our situation is, my brother. Very much so.
You know the concern, certainly. I mean, you've been asked this question a million times from a lot of Democrats and Republicans against Trump that a third-party candidate like yourself could siphon votes away from President Biden. David Axelrod recently tweeted saying in 2016, the Green Party played an outside role in the tipping the election to Donald Trump. Now with Cornel West as their likely nominee, they could easily do it again. Risky business. Now, I know you said you don't believe Jill Stein made that big a difference in the vote count in 2016.
No, Gary
in
Johnson
Michigan, Pennsylvania,
made more.
Wisconsin, her votes did exceed Trump's margin over Clinton. So how do you answer that critique that you will be siphoning votes away and potentially leading to a Trump victory?
Well, part of it is that nearly 40% of our precious citizens every 2 and 4 years decide not to vote at all. And we know that the so-called spoilers, which is a category you can imagine I don't accept at all, over 2/3 of those who vote, it could be a Gary Johnson, a Sister Jill Stein, Brother Ralph Nader, whoever, people say they would never vote for the two parties. And I can understand those two parties become too corrupt, their politicians are too conformist.
Yep. Okay. So that was the first clip. We got a couple of clips here we'll go through. Thank you so much, Case Study QB, for cutting these all up. It makes it easy to break them down. So next we're going to jump to Carver, and then we'll go back to West. So this is just gross. He is part of the kickback Clinton team, right? I don't want to say what I can say because I'll probably get hit on YouTube. So I'll just keep my mouth shut.
You hear Dr. West? What is your reaction to what he had to say? Do you think he rejects the term spoiler candidate. Do you think he could be?
Well, first of all, he's obviously an accomplished scholar, academic. He seems to be a very charming man. And he's also a menace to the threat of the continued constitutional order in the United States. And if I say that because look what Ralph Nader was directly responsible for the election of George W. Bush, which brought about this horrific Iraq war and this horrific economic downturn we had, among other things. Jill Stein, who's his campaign manager, is almost certainly an agent of the Russian government. If you don't believe me, somebody at home Google photo General Flynn, Vladimir Putin, Jill Stein. She was hosted by the Russians prior to her running in 2016. So, people are going to have to decide, do we want to continue under our Constitution? Because Donald Trump is telling us that very clearly, is bragging about the fact that he doesn't want to live under the Constitution anymore. And it's very clear that the only thing that Dr. West's candidacy can do is help elect Donald Trump. It's nothing. I don't think any of that's inarguable.
Well, then I'm okay with that.
That Jill Stein had deep relationships with the Russian government.
So let me ask you, because the argument that Ralph Nader put forward, the argument that Jill Stein has put forward, Dr. West mentioned it again tonight, that a lot of those people who voted for Jill Stein or Ralph Nader would not have voted for any of the mainstream candidates, and therefore they did not suck away votes from Hillary Clinton or would not hurt votes from Biden here?
Well, how could I argue with that? I'm sure that some of it's true, some of it's not true.
I mean, there's no way to know whether somebody could tell a pollster, oh, no, of course I wouldn't vote for any other candidate, but who knows how people would vote.
Yeah, I can't disprove that, nor would I want to. But what I do know, there was Russian help that were telling black voters in Detroit to vote at the wrong place or to vote on Wednesday and not Tuesday. That I do know.
Well, if you think that election day is on Wednesday, you haven't been paying attention. But I'm sorry to all my peeps in Louisiana that you guys get credit for this asshat. Yeah, he's a duty head. We'll just call him a doo-doo head. And of course, he is part of the Clinton mega machine. Let us never forget that he's a kingmaker, right? And he's a president maker. And to blame it on Jill Stein and to say, just look up Jill Stein, General Flynn, and Putin, and you'll get a picture. Yeah, it was some like fucking dinner that she was invited to, I think, because it was part of RT, and she never even talked to Putin. Yeah, they are 2 or 3 tables away from each other, but this was one of the main talking points in 2017. I remember one time I was chairing a huge meeting locally, probably 150 people there, trying to figure out what we're going to do with the energy, inside the Democratic Party now that Trump had won, right? How do we move that? And this little guy shuffles in, because I'm a retirement community. Most everybody that came into the Dem headquarters was over 60. He comes shuffling and he points at me and he says, it's your fault that Jill Stein, made it to where Clinton lost. And I was just like, are you kidding me? I mean, if you look at the actual amount of votes, you should be screaming at Gary Johnson supporters, not at, that's what it came down to. Okay, let's get to the next one. We still got a big deck to go. This one is, okay, this is the one that I was disappointed in, Cornell, I think.
So what do you think about this? Why are they freaking out about this? Is this a real threat to I guess
I didn't bring it.
I think they definitely do see it as a real threat, which is why you're seeing all of these headlines pop up. They're showing exactly how concerned they are. The sad part is anybody who knows Cornell or Bobby Kennedy Jr. knows they're good people.
I agree.
They're doing what they're doing because they care. I don't agree with everything that they stand for, but they're motivated by a desire to serve.
But you would think that they're just the worst people ever, by the way. You hear the whisper, forget the whisper campaigns. It's all just an ego exercise. Well, maybe it is a little bit for the no labels people, but certainly not for RFK Jr. That man is vilified morning, noon, and night. And I don't agree with him on a lot of issues, but I do on some of his stuff that he's worried about the medical cartels and all that, and perhaps on the war issue. But, I mean,
they're vilifying him in the same way that they vilified me back in 2020 when I ran for president, the same way that they vilify anyone that they deem a threat. I have no doubt that they'll get started on Cornell West here shortly.
They don't like his, ascots or something.
That's the problem, is they'll find whatever they need to. They'll make up whatever they need to smear and destroy people because they don't have a conscience. They don't care who gets hurt.
They don't have a record. They have a terrible record.
They have a terrible record. Exactly. They can't make that case to the American people.
And the hologram presidency doesn't help either if he's a hologram candidate. Now, I want to play a moment from Cornell West to your point last night. I think it speaks to why the left is freaking out about him. Let's watch.
The people of Ukraine right now who are suffering, and I'm in deep solidarity with their suffering, they are being caught between this proxy war between the American empire and the Russian Federation. Federation.
I just spoke to the foreign minister of Ukraine. We're saying that they are just victims in this proxy war. He would say, you're out of your mind.
And he didn't push back. I guess I didn't bring that clip. There was so many clips. I mean, everybody was clipping that interview. But Cornell doesn't push back very hard when Anderson Cooper is like, yeah, but the Ukraine war, we got to support the Ukrainians. We got to save Europe. And you could see Cornell had it in him to push back. But because of his fucking friendship with Anderson and Anderson's rich family, the Vanderbilts, for so many years, he doesn't. And it makes me sick. I see him do that all the time. I saw him do it with Pete Buttigieg too. And it's just really, Come on, Cornell, go all the way. Bernie never went all the way. That was the big problem we had with Bernie. When Bernie could have taken a swing and landed one right on the jaw, he never fucking did it. He didn't do it to Clinton. He slapped Clinton a few times, right? Well, I don't give a damn about her emails, shit like that. He protected her. And then when it came to Joe Biden, he didn't bring any facts. Oh, well, Google it. I mean, that was the best that he came up with. Go Google it, right? DC, thank you so much for the super chat. Green Party votes were not even counted in multiple counties. I know, right? And that's what the 2016 recount uncovered before being shut down by a federal judge. So I got questions. Why didn't Jill Stein push back? Why did Jill Stein continue to collect money for that recount? There's a lot of questions right there. And that's why I dogged out of, you guys know, I don't think that electoral politics is going to save us one goddamn bit. And I saw one of you out there say it not too long ago, general strike. I'm with you. I have been screaming general strike since 2016. I called home from the DNC convention in Philly and said, it's done. It's done. We lost the one shot we had to try to take back, our democracy, since the Dems love that word, but to try to take back our electoral system. And we lost it because Bernie dogged out. God knows whatever happened to him. He showed up that last night at the DNC looking like somebody beat the fuck out of him. And we've never seen Bernie again since that night, in my opinion. I mean, the Bernie that I thought I knew and the Bernie that I loved and the Bernie that was fighting for the American people, I don't know. They punched the shit out of him and he just disappeared is the way I see it. So yeah, I've been screaming general strike. And now we've been saying it for years now as these unions are rising up and they're pushing back against these fucking starvation wages and, exuberant housing costs and travel costs and gas prices. It's going to take, what is it? 1%. I think it's as little as 1%, but it might be as high as 3% of the population to take to the streets. And once we do, we win. And that is the whole point. And so, yes, I absolutely push general strike, have for years. Did you guys see this nauseating shit? Oh, I should have brought the video I have where Chelsea looks like her actual dad. Yeah, we'll do that on Friday. Chelsea has a sister looks just like her too. Funny, Bill's not the dad. Imagine that. Oh, shared vision. Yeah, their shared vision is global domination and depopulation. That is their vision. We know your vision. You've made it very clear, Ms. Warhawk. And this right here. So leftists reject the opinions of others more strongly. Oh, no, do tell. So in Europe, voters from the left and green parties distance themselves from people who think differently politically. This becomes particularly clear with the emotionally charged topic. So yeah, they just want to change the subject. They will not be your friend if you have a political outlook that is different than theirs. You need to be banished and done away with. You are a deplorable, right? And they're supposed to be the ones that are inclusive and just love people for who they are, right? Bodily autonomy. No, that's not who the Dems are at all. It doesn't start with gas chambers. It started with one party controlling the media, one party controlling the message, one party deciding what is truth, and one party censoring speech and silencing opposition, one party dividing citizens into us and them and calling on their supporters to harass them. Oh, didn't we just see a video like 20 minutes ago like that? It starts when good people turn a blind eye and let it happen. 100% true. And that's exactly what we're living through right now in real time. Okay, so I think I have a little bit of a Palestine section. This is kind of disturbing. This is a video that a woman who's trying to travel, a Palestinian woman who's trying to travel, she's not allowed to travel with any electronics because she might be one of those terrorists,
So I'm at the airport and they are telling me that because I am Palestinian and I'm flying into Israel, I am not allowed to take my laptop, any chargers, not even my portable charger with me on the plane because they are worried that someone packed my bag, that I wasn't the one who packed my bag. So I'm not allowed to take a laptop, I'm not allowed to take any chargers, a phone charger, a portable charger, nothing. They are making me take it out and put it into the bag. And they explicitly said that it's because they are worried that someone may have packed my bag. And they are worried that someone is using me. And that's why I'm not allowed to take any electricity, any electronics, not even a portable charger, not even a cable. Yeah.
That is crazy. And that's the authoritarian rule that the poor Palestinian people live under, right? And how do you get in? You have to go through Israel, I would think. It's just like Dubai is the stop for most of the countries if you're flying into Iraq or Afghanistan or any of those places. So I skipped it. I don't know why I skipped it. It was a long clip, but I'm just going to tell you, go watch Richie Medhurst's breakdown of what's going on with Ukrainians' wheat supply, right? Because Ukraine is the wheat basket to Europe. And now they're trying to say that Putin is starving the world because he's not willing to get ripped off and be screwed over by, the New World Order. And Richie does a brilliant job of breaking it down. He brings the clips. He shows you guys. It's just too long of a clip for me to bring, but Richie and Garland Nixon, man, those are the two that I'm going to for up to minute. Anything happens with the Ukrainian, you can go right over there and be up to date. So those are the two I'm looking at. But let's talk about climate. So Guardian, sustainable business, just 100 companies are responsible for 71% of the global emissions, study says. What? It's not you driving to the damn dollar store? They had us convinced it was us, and you guys need to get one of those plug-in electrical cars, that there's millions of mines where they're mining cobalt, stuff they don't know what to do with. I love when these cars catch on fire too. The fire department just stands by and they have to let them burn for 24 hours till they burn themselves out because they're full of so many different noxious, chemicals. But hey, you're saving the planet. Not at all. So let's see the John Kerry. I know you guys saw it. 2 days ago, he is testifying that he's never owned a jet. He don't own a jet. He flies all over the world telling everybody they need to get rid of their car, but he doesn't own a jet. His wife does.
So I just don't agree with your facts, which began with the presentation of one of the most outrageously persistent lies that I hear, which is this private jet. We don't own a private jet. I don't own a private jet. I personally have never owned a private jet. And obviously, it's pretty stupid to talk about coming in a private jet from the State Department up here. Just honestly, if that's where you want to go there.
Yeah,
a few moments later. You just testified under oath that you never owned a private jet. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to enter into the record article here from February 15th of 2023. The John Kerry family private jet was sold shortly after accusations of climate hypocrisy. Mr. Secretary, do you stand by that testimony that you've never owned or
I personally,
your family?
Your family? Personally, yes. My wife owned a plane.
But it wasn't in my name. So gross. And that's my biggest problem with the Democrats is their fucking hypocrisy. Their hypocrisy knows no bounds, right? I mean, this guy flies into Brussels. He's flying all over the world. The Paris Accords. And yeah, it's not my jet. I didn't own it. It may be my family's name, but I didn't go buy it. That's like saying, yeah, I own a refrigerator, but I didn't go buy it. So I don't really have a refrigerator. This is just insane. It's insane. But I got to tell you, one good thing came out of this clip this week. And Jimmy Dore, sometimes he's there with us, sometimes he's not, right? And as we were waking up to COVID and waking up to the transhumanist movement, we were also waking up to the climate movement and how it's been co-opted and weaponized against the working poor of our country, the working poor of the world. And Jimmy finally is out there screaming about it. And I was so happy to hear it. Here's just a little clip from the other day, but go watch the whole segment. I don't know if he brought the whole segment. I think he only put like an 8-minute clip out. He should have put the whole segment out because for me, it was like, yes, Jimmy's finally on board and fighting back about the climate bullshit too.
Mr. Secretary, do you stand by that testimony that you never owned or
I personally,
your family?
Your family? Personally, yes. Personally. My wife owned a plane.
Whoa.
was that, a Nord Stream oil?
Yeah, I've never. Yeah, my wife. Sure, my wife. So I don't know, how the law works, but I'm not a lawyer. I'm a pothead comedian, but I'm pretty sure I overheard a lawyer one time talking at a bar, and he said that if you're married and your wife goes and buys something, or if you buy something, your wife also owns that.
Yeah, that's how that works.
You don't have individual. So if I go and buy a house and I'm married, my wife also owns that house.
Even if Carrie signed a prenup?
Even.
You think he had to sign a prenup?
His wife owned a jet.
How long have they been married?
His
Forever?
wife.
What does Ma Ketchup need a jet for anyway? Where she got to go to why would she own a jet? What would it be for?
Fox News gets to run this article. Bottom line is that the climate czar is showing a climate hypocrisy when him and his family left a 325 metric ton carbon footprint from their private jet. Meanwhile, Kerry expects the average American to be carbon neutral and to buy things like unreliable electronic vehicles that they can't even afford.
That's actually not true. They know you can't afford
Yeah,
them.
they know you
expect
can't
not
buy
to go
one.
anywhere.
Good one, Kurt.
Well, maybe we can figure out how to harness hypocrisy, and that way we could have dual engine hybrids running on bullshit and double standards.
That was a good one, Jimmy. Haha. So go watch that segment. Great job, Jimmy. I'm so glad to see you on board fighting back. And here you go. World leaders on their way to another climate conference. Yeah. We saw that with the last Davos, right? All of the jets that were flying in. There was some good independent reporters out there reporting in real time. And I finally found some tape to stick on my paneling walls. I'm so happy. I'm going to put this shit on everything for the next week. My tape. That's the worst part of living in a trailer is when you pull the tape off the wall comes with it, right? So, okay. We've got Ilhan Omar being a hypocrite too. So let's see.
You sure about that? And here we go.
It's not possible. we don't date back 120,000 years, so yeah. We started in 1880.
What could you possibly have to say for yourself?
I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country.
Wow. Just wow.
We are led by very, very stupid people.
Agreed.
Very, very stupid people.
America is back.
America is back. There you are. Hey, Ilhan, she's part of that fraud squad. And the dumbest people ever. Come on, Trump. Seriously. But you guys know, I reported just last week, the hottest day on record was in 1913 in Death Valley. And that record, has not been broken. So the science is always so subjective nowadays, especially, right? They just go find some article and go, oh, well, here was the hottest day according to these guys. And we broke that record. And that's not the reality of it at all. And I agree. Summers in the 70s were way hotter. Is it because we all have air conditioning now? I don't know. It just seems like summer was so much hotter as a kid. Did you guys see this explosion in Newtown, North Dakota? Pretty bad. Wonder how much pollution that put into the environment, right? But they'll never be held accountable for it. And there was some injuries with that. So hopefully everybody was okay. I know one person was air vac'd out of there. A couple had to go to a local hospital. And that's very dangerous work. So, I brought it because they want to say we are the people polluting. We are the ones polluting. It's our consumption that's polluting. No, it doesn't have anything to do with shit like that, right? Or the train derailment with the white substance. Did you guys see that? I think on Monday. Oh, the unknown white substance. And then now there's just nothing in the news about it at all. That's the way it always is. Oh, Oz is sending me stuff. What are you sending me, Oz? Is it important? Let's go see. Let's go see if Oz is sending it to us. We must be something we need to look at. What was it called? I think this is it. The White House. Oh, it's something from the White House, so it must be important. And here, how about I share so you guys can see it too? Okay, so the new U.S. Cyber Trust mark will give Americans greater peace of mind that the devices they bring into their homes, classrooms, and offices are safer and less vulnerable to cyber attacks. Yeah, the only cyber attack I worry about is my government attacking my fucking data. I don't care if China gets my shit. Let's see. Watch as the Deputy National Security Advisor, Ann Neuberger, explains. Okay, please explain.
The President and Deputy National Security Advisor for Cyber and Emerging Technologies. This week, the White House is excited to announce the launch of the U.S. Cyber Trust Mark program. We're launching this alongside the FCC and participating companies, including major electronics and appliance manufacturers and retailers. This new label allows Americans to easily identify trustworthy internet and Bluetooth-connected devices. Devices like baby monitors, home security cameras, and smart appliances like locks, TVs, and microwaves. Devices and appliances that will meet the U.S. government's cybersecurity requirement. This certification and labeling program addresses a core cybersecurity problem. How do consumers determine if their devices are secure from potential cyber intrusions? Well, next year, you will be able to look for the Cyber Trust Mark's distinct shield to answer that question. This program delivers on President Biden's commitment to keeping Americans safe, especially in a time where we're bringing more and more internet-connected devices into our homes.
Okay, so that is the new label that you will look for to know that the government already has a direct path to all of the data on that device. So that way they don't have to backdoor it. They already got their backdoor in there. And yeah, it is my data, but I don't think that China's weaponizing my data against me as much as the U.S. government is, right? They're the ones the U.S. government is the one putting me on watch lists because I read this website or, I had this picture in my phone or, oh my God, she had a picture of young Stalin. She's one of those crazy communists. Got to put her on a watch list. I'm more worried about my government doing that. They're all stealing our data 100% everywhere, every day, everything we do, everything we touch. I mean, I've got the 80,000 emails in my spam just to prove that they're stealing our data. I mean, I don't think that there's any way that you can truly be protected other than unplug and go live in a fucking cabin on the woods because we are that surveilled now. So yeah, I worry more about my government than I do other governments getting my shit. But, now I brought that report this week about how they can make specialized, well, Amber's been saying it forever, but how they can make weaponry based on your personal DNA, like customized, right? And that's the type of shit I worry about. I don't see that coming from other governments. I see that coming from our own government. Okay, get my deck back in here. Well, thank you for that breaking news, Oz, because we needed breaking news. Okay, let's get back on track. Let's see. Oh, and then I go and dump it out. I had it all set up and hit the wrong button. Okay, share, open. Okay, this button. There we go. So apparently my IQ has fallen in the U.S. So IQ scores in the U.S. has fallen for the first time in decades, studies suggest. Chili love. IQ scores and income levels and lifespans have dropped. Disease, wealth, despair, poverty, homelessness, homicide, suicide. Oh, I'm not allowed to say that word on YouTube. Just did. Violence and species extinction, fascism, totalitarianism has increased exponentially. We can't go on this way. No, we can't go on this way. And so something big's coming, right? And you see it all the time. People are like, what do they got planned for us? When they're willing to keep dumping money into Ukraine, they just give no shits about the United States, like it's not going to be here in 5 years. We don't need to fix any of our infrastructure. We don't need any kind of high-speed rail or reliable transportation. We just need to take your car away from you, and you need to shut up and live in a 15-minute city. And that seems to be their future. So it makes you wonder, what the hell do they know? What I see people all over asking, what do they know? Okay, let's see. What is this? This is Trump. Oh my God, you guys. He is just like a Mussolini. Oh, this is funny. Yes, Trump. He is just like Bonito Mussolini. Let's check it out.
Talk about the danger, the level of danger to American democracy.
Well, if you love Mussolini, you will love what Donald Trump is talking about for 2025. Mussolini followed the unitary executive theory too, which meant total power to the dictator, no constraints. This is about as un-American, I think you will all agree, as anything I've ever heard. I mean, the reason why this country was founded was as a rebuke to the British king. We wanted to develop a system where you could not have a king, you could not have a dictator. Power was under constraint. When you were at Tuscaloosa, Joe, I'm sure that you talked about, as you have ever since, the fact that there are checks and balances, 3 branches of government. That's all James Madison, who used to be a conservative hero. Now comes along Donald Trump, the first major candidate in American history to say outright, I want a presidential dictatorship.
Fun fact, Trump never said that. I mean, come on. We all think Trump likes to think he's in power, right? He thought he was in power the whole time he was in office. And really, all he was doing was trying to sidestep their agenda, right? Because we know the deep state had control of Trump's whole entire presidency. Operation Warp Speed, was that his idea? No, that was Fauci's idea in the 80s. This stuff didn't come along just under Trump. And he wishes he could be Mussolini. He doesn't have that kind of power. The Dems have that kind of power, and we know it. Let's talk about Hollywood. Hollywood is on strike. Wall Street turns on Hollywood studios over strike concerns. Let me see. I got this article somewhere. No, that's the Texas border. What is this one? Oh, we're gonna get to that story. That's a good story. Come on, Wall Street. Here we go. Wall Street Studios. And the funniest shit about this is these CEOs, they're insane. It doesn't seem like the Hollywood studios are winning the PR war against the VIP audience. So there you go. Yeah, the future, despite studios bending over backwards to please Wall Street, the investor class isn't too happy about the double strike. Because they're going to lose money. Well, I got news for you. Tinseltown's have been losing money. Have you seen anything that they put out lately? It all sucks. It's all virtue signaling remakes of shit that, has came and gone. Stuff that was out years ago. That's all they seem to know about. So let's see. The strike will probably be a long one, thanks to the leverage of the two unions being on strike simultaneously. So, they're looking to lose $60 million annually, up to $140 billion is what Wall Street's going to lose while they're on strike. And this is why general strike is so important. The only time that we get through to the global elites is when we punch them straight in the pocketbook. And I learned this directly from Shama Sawant back in the days of shutting down the ports in Seattle in 2015 and 16, shutting down the airport. You shut shit down so they're not making money. It causes delays. It causes, supply chain problems. And then they're losing money. That's the only way we ever hurt them. Wells Fargo noted the strike will significantly impact film and TV production, leaving holes in release schedules starting this fall. Well, we've already had holes, right? We didn't, what we get? A couple of episodes of a lot of the shit we were watching on Netflix for the last 3 years due to COVID. I mean, and anymore, we're getting series with 8 episodes in a fucking season. Like, give me a fucking break. I don't even want to waste my time anymore. I'll look at it, Amazon, Netflix. If it doesn't have a couple of seasons, I'm not going to bother investing my time in it because I don't want to get invested in a story that's not going to finish or that doesn't mean shit, you know? Let's see. Third Bridge says that the bad for companies trying to make sure that their streaming subscribers don't churn, whose networks are facing advertising crunches. Yeah, and Netflix is really starting to feel it, right? So yeah, we all know this is going to hurt them. It's going to hurt them bad. And is that what we want? I kind of want it. I mean, oh, there's where Zelensky was hiding. He was hiding under Adam's shit. I want Disney to go down. I want these big studios to go under. We got independent producers out there. We got independent media is not just us. I mean, there's people all over doing all kinds of independent projects. We don't need these big overinflated studios with these overpaid actors and actresses that think they need $50 million to do a film. And not to say that they don't deserve their part, but it's the people down below. The actors and actresses are all got their shit all fucking fired up now, right? You see Fran Drescher out there, Ron Perlman screaming, yelling. Of course, Susan Sarandon's out there, but she's always out there, so she doesn't get thrown into that. But now they're fighting for the people under them. Oh, we're fighting for the craft service people and the key grip, and these are just working people that they deserve to make a living wage. They deserve to get minimum wage. That type of shit. Well, you weren't saying shit when you were getting $22 million in your last contract about those people. So you're just as guilty as the CEOs in my mind. But guess who decided to join the front lines? That's right, Adam Schiff. My only question was, where was the after party?
Congressman Adam Schiff, he was out here this morning on the picket lines joining these strikers. He says he represents a lot of the folks who are striking. He shared their concerns about artificial intelligence and says because he knows a lot of these people, he knows how hard they work, and he wants them to get a good deal. Take a listen.
All too many people back in the Congress think that everyone who works in this industry is some multimillionaire celebrity, when the reality is these are folks that are just trying to put bread on the table, keep a roof over the head, provide for their family, work enough so that they can qualify for health insurance.
But that's not the reason that these big stars are out there, right? They don't want their AI likeness stolen and used, because that's what they can do now. A lot of them have probably already signed contracts in the last 5 years that gave their AI likeness to whatever studio, maybe for a project or maybe indefinitely. If you go watch the 6th season of Black Mirror, the very first episode is Selma Hayek, and they steal her likeness for an AI. And so Hollywood's understood that this is coming for a long time. And I think you guys, the audience, know that because Oz and I use AI. If you notice over on Beauty and the Boomer, we have AI Chanda, AI Oz, and AI Linda that we can literally program to say anything we wanted to say, and it will be in our voice. I mean, we're coming to a point where they don't need actors anymore. They can have the AI write the scripts. They can have, there's green screens. You don't need the big production that it used to take to get one of these Hollywood movies out. So that's why they're screaming, right? No, I don't want to hear you again, Adam. Another case study QB. I'm not sure what this is, but we'll watch it. We'll watch it. Oh, I love this from John Cleese. Let's read this source. I keep reading that film studios are contemplating replacing writers and actors by using artificial intelligence to mimic their talent. Surely it would be easier and more efficient to replace the executives since they have no talent at all. Put it in good one. It's true.
The struggle for fair pay being highlighted by the stars of one of the first hit shows from the streaming era.
Oh my God, I'm about to be so rich.
What? That was Kimiko Glenn, who played Brooke Soso on Netflix's Orange is the New Black. She earned just $27 on that residual check. You saw it there. Her frustration being echoed by many of her co-stars. Leah Delaria telling The New Yorker, I get $20. I would love to know, how much money did Ted Sarandos make last year? Well, here's the answer. Sarandos, who's the CEO of Netflix, according to the company's financial statements last year, he received $20 million in base salary, more than $50 million if you include the stock and the options and bonuses. Emma Miles, another Orange is the New Black alum, told The New Yorker, when you're a kid, you have this idea. Once I'm on something that people actually see, I'll be rich. And you'll look around after being on that hit show and you're like, wow, I'm still in the same one-bedroom apartment. Was this how it's supposed to be? Now, Emma Miles and Leah Delaria join me now. Emma, can you explain to the audience, first of all, what are residual checks, right? What are they supposed to be? And what does that financially look like for you once you've been on a show like Orange is the New Black?
Okay, well, in terms of how our business works, residuals typically are paid out for network, cable, movies, and they're basically a share of the profits that come from the revenue from being on a network. So there's a lot of advertisement, there's a lot of money that comes with that. So the residuals for network they're a lot higher, like much higher. And we have certain bases in our contracts that say that they have to be at a certain percentage. They have to be calculated that way. Now, in terms of residuals for Orange, we were not based off of network and cable. We were based off of this.
It was streaming because they were one of the very first big Netflix series, right? So that's bullshit. $27. That's about what the federal government gives you for food stamps nowadays. But how can these actors that are working their way up to, with hopefully to get a big movie to be recognized, how can they make it? And we've heard this for years and years that they're not getting paid. But now that streaming is involved, it's totally changing it. I mean, everything is built on the old Hollywood business model and everything has completely changed. We saw this happen in the music industry in the late 90s and early 2000s, right? You saw bands like Metallica and Foo Fighters say, no, this is bullshit. We're not making anything. People don't have to go buy our albums anymore. They can literally download and stream any kind of music they want. Same is happening in Hollywood too. And Hollywood needs to change it. And so, yeah, of course I support the people striking. But here is another actress from Orange is the New Black. Check this out.
Yeah, all of us need to strike against the fucking corporation, not just fucking SAG and the actors, the teachers. Everybody need to be fucking striking against the fucking corporations because they fucking all of us.
Yep.
They fucking all of us.
All of us need to be striking. They're fucking all of us. It's not just Hollywood. So yeah, I support anybody who's out there striking right now. Yep. And that means mutual aid. So if you're in an area where there's people striking, please get out there and help them. Even if it means, going through your cupboards, giving food, giving money, helping out, getting out on the picket lines. That's what it means to support the strike, right? To support anybody who's striking. And as we go into the future and as the next years roll out, we're going to see a lot of strikes, and it's up to us to get out there and support it. We don't change anything till we're boots on the ground on the streets, right? So effective immediately, all staff must leave their cell phone on and make themselves available when not on shift. Consider yourself on call. You must answer calls from Gary, not Gary. And if you are asked to cover a shift, you must do so without complaints. This is not optional. You all need to work together to help the company succeed. Let's set some record profits this quarter. Go team. I don't know what corporation that came out of, but it's disgusting. And what's wrong with America right now? Nobody wants to work anymore. $12, under $1 raise, no benefits, pizza party. Oh, I fucking love the pizza party. We're a family here. Schedules come out the day before, and full-time availability with part-time hours. And that is exactly what American workers are facing right now. The pizza party one, that one pisses me off the most because, as a single mom who was working as many jobs as I could to keep a roof over my head and my 3 kids, when Christmas time would come around and one year they give you $100 bonus and then the next year they decide they're going to give you a gift card for a fucking turkey, it's just wrong. it's just completely wrong. On top of the fact of no benefits and this full-time availability, part-time schedule, fucking with your lunches. We have all these labor laws, but labor laws are only as good as if they're enforced. And I have worked in a ton of fucking places where they're never enforced. You think it's bad in third world countries? It's just as bad here in the United States. And go ahead, go cry to your local L&I office or unemployment office. They're not going to do shit about employers. I have some tyrannical freaking employers that live up here that have gone through hundreds of employees, and our enforcers know about it. But what can they do about it? They fine them occasionally here and there. They don't ever shut them down. So it's going to be on the workers again. It's disgusting. Makes me mad. It does. What is this? Massachusetts calls on residents to take border crossers into their homes. But I got a question. If everybody's homeless, then where are they supposed to go? What I thought $1 million would get me as a kid versus reality. Yeah, no doubt, right? Oh my God, as a kid, we thought a millionaire was it, right? I'm going to be a millionaire when I grow up. $1 million don't get you much anymore, does it? No, it just gets you a lot of taxes to pay. That's what I see. And I saw yesterday there is homeless sweeps going on in San Diego, San Francisco, Seattle. Yeah, screw those homeless. They just need to get the hell off the streets. So what they're doing is passing anti-camping laws. So you're not allowed to camp on the streets. Take your tent and go. We can't help you, and we're not going to help you. But you just got to go. And it's like I always say, it's like pushing the fire ants out of your yard. Down south, if you got fire ants in your yard, you just gas them till they move into the neighbor's yard. And that's exactly how they are dealing with the homeless in all the blue states on the West Coast. Thank you, Carrie Gale. Really looking forward to your show. Thanks. Oh, thank you so much. You know what? I'm really enjoying. I just stepped up my schedule. You guys know I've been doing this for a couple of years, but the last couple of weeks, I'm doing 5 shows, 6 shows a week now. And I'm loving it. I do love it, but that's a lot of content that I'm having to consume. And sometimes I feel like my brain's on overload and I can't remember anything versus everything. You know what I'm saying? Did you guys see this? Oh my God, Hollywood's going to whitewash Oppenheimer and Operation Paperclip and make it look like it was something so good that we built a bomb and dropped it on, a bunch of Japanese people, because that's what Hollywood does. Are you guys looking forward to it? I hear a lot of people talking about it, right? I don't know. Maybe I'll go read an Annie Jacobson book before I go see it. That way I have all the facts fresh in my head. That way I could be like, oh, nope, that was a lie. Oh, nope, that was a lie. What is this? This looks like far left sought crime Oakland DA. Oh, this is disgusting. So the Oakland DA did an interview the other day, very progressive. We're talking Oakland, right? A homeless problem, crime problem, really bad. A lot of stores becoming a food desert because so many stores have pulled out and closed down in the Oakland area. Well, this is the DA's take on, the crime that's going on in her area.
Family members of victims are saying that the decisions you have made are unfair to them, that sentences that criminals have been given are excessively lenient, and that perpetrators are favored over victims. What's your response to that?
I feel definitely my heart goes out to the people who have lost loved ones in this community. So we at the District Attorney's Office are very, very committed to making sure that we're providing the best services. Some people are not able to actually appreciate the work that we do.
The work of Pamela Price has been focused on progressive reforms, including alternatives to incarceration and not charging juveniles as adults. Now official paperwork to launch a recall has been filed.
There are people who say that we are here because they don't feel safe.
I was elected because the people in this community didn't feel safe, unfortunately. We know that crime under my predecessor was, pretty much exploding. The DA's role has really no impact on crime.
Excuse me, the fuck did you just say?
The DA's role has really no impact on crime.
How y'all doing? Welcome to an episode of
Ain't this some bullshit?
Ain't this some bullshit? Somebody needs to give her the job description again for a district attorney, because if she thinks that being a district attorney really has no effect on crime in your area, I think Harris would cackle her way around it and say, no, that's not true, because look at what she did by arresting parents and busting marijuana smokers, right? When she was that. There was something I was going to point out. Now I lost it. Dang it. I hate when that happens. I was going to update my deck. That's right. Okay. There we go. Let's talk about Emma Vigeland. You guys, this is so gross. This is so gross if you haven't seen it. Do Dissidents, cracking me up. Keep it up. You keep me giggling. But this is some bullshit. So here's Emma Vigeland over on Sam Cedar's show. Of course, she likes to run the ship over there. And I'll just let you guys, it speaks for itself. I don't even have to set it up.
Your argument is really bad on this, and you're out of your depth. You're correct that trans women should be able to compete in women's sports, but your argument for it is just scientifically and factually incorrect. I'm actually not bad about this. I'm 100% right on this. I don't give a shit about the scientific explanations. People, if they identify as a woman, get to compete in sports. If that's not fair in the short term for a variety of little competitions, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit, because the societal interest of including trans people in society trumps stupid competition. Full stop. So I'm right about this. You're wrong about this.
Damn.
Anyway, Dr. Shock, I agree. Let's get rid of weight classes in all combat sports. Perhaps have grown men compete in Little League. Sometimes life's not fair. Whatever.
Fox delivering the knees, and that's it. Fallon Fox. Game over.
I'm not here to talk about my transition. I'm here to kick some fucking ass.
I'm feeling excellent. That was sweet, huh? Did you like that? Yeah! And I want to tell everyone else, I'm coming in this tournament. Every woman in this tournament better look out. I'm freaking coming.
I'm gonna roll up the other women here, and I'm gonna smoke them.
The first race that I competed against a transgender athlete was during my freshman year. And once the gun went off, the two transgender athletes took off flying and left all of us girls in the dust.
You're a bad mom if you can't explain that there are people along a gender spectrum and it's not this binary. Like, I mean, I hear this all the time. My daughter plays sports. What am I going to tell to her? You know, it's not fair to her to compete with this kind of person.
November 1st, 2022, I was severely injured in a high school volleyball game by a transgender athlete on the opposing team. I suffered from a concussion and neck injury that to this day I'm still recovering from. Other injuries I still suffer from today include impaired vision, partial paralysis on my right side, constant headaches, as well as anxiety and depression.
Trans women should be able to compete without question in women's sports, because there are a lot of instances where there are athletes who, there's not even evidence to show that this is the case, but just take their assertion at face value for a second, that this is some unfair advantage. I mean, there's an unfair advantage all the time in sports. That's actually quite... that's the nature of sports.
I'm the best! I'm the strongest!
The statistics do say
a male could be 40% stronger than a female on his legs.
Biologist Emma Hilton.
Things like shoulder width. Those things don't change when transgender women suppress testosterone. They don't get shorter. The performance gap in weightlifting is over 30%. The performance gap when someone is throwing a baseball is over 50%. And the performance gap when a male punches is 160%.
From mediocre to champion.
You couldn't cut it with the boys, so you pushed women off the podium.
Real man, still first place.
To watch a transgender female ride away from me like it was nothing, and there's nothing I can do about it, it was torture. I really haven't raced since.
I know that I'm not the only girl who has missed out on opportunities. There are countless other girls who have lost meets and titles and their drive to compete as hard as they can because they know that they will never be good enough to compete against these athletes.
Honestly, like women's sports, it's barely an institution. It's only been around for a few decades. Like if our sources of our outlets for entertainment, for competition, for like, I don't know however to define them. But if they're not able to accommodate trans people, then they're not worthy of existing. Like it's just like we're talking about movie theaters. What are we talking about here? I mean, I love sports as much as anyone, but if they cannot accommodate including trans people, I don't give a shit about them being robust. It's just be inclusive or don't be. That's it. Or don't exist.
So gross. Was that so gross? And Russell did such a great job of putting that clip together, and it was so funny. The intro of that, their commentary. I wish I could have brought you the whole thing, but it was really long. As a grandmother to a granddaughter who is playing sports right now, I am very, very, very highly fucking opinionated about this. I have been highly opinionated about it. You guys know what my opinion is. And, as a woman who grew up in a home with domestic violence and then went and found my own domestic violence as a young adult. 37 years I did in domestic violence. And you know what that meant? I've taken a lot of fucking men on in my life. I have thrown down and thrown blows with many a men. And no matter if they were smaller than me, shorter than me, skinnier than me, they were always still fucking stronger than me. So that argument she makes will never fly with me. And if she thinks that, then I want her to take a hit from a fucking man right in the goddamn face and then let me hit her and she can tell the fucking difference. That's all I'm saying. There's a huge fucking difference. And Emma is a shill of the highest fucking order and nauseating at that. And when she got, I don't know. Yeah, you don't know. Shut up. You don't even know what you're talking about. So disgusting, and great job over there. And two dissidents. We love them. But she wasn't done yet, because I woke up this morning and she was dogpiling on RFK Jr. The RFK Jr. campaign is a dirty trick by Republican operatives. It's been clear since the beginning. The great reporting by @Jude Ludgum. No. GOP donors and the super PAC, including one ran by PayPal's ghoul David Sachs and DeSantis booster, are buoying in his candidacy. Yeah, Jimmy, laugh. I know. It's fucking funny. Isn't it funny, Jimmy? I laugh too. She actually thinks that shit. In the meantime, the Dems are the ones that are fucking taking all that kind of money, right? Okay, this is a crazy story. I saw this TikTok yesterday and I was like, what? I've never heard this story. Have you guys ever heard the story of the bridge that fell down in West Virginia and our government wouldn't fix it? So the people of the town went and asked Russia to fix it. And Russia said, okay, check this out. 1977, I want to say. I actually had to go do the research on this after I saw the TikTok. It's muted because I don't want to take a hit for the sound on it. So West Virginia, it was a broken bridge. How are you going to fix it? 1977. Government says they don't have the money. Sorry, no money for it. So what are we going to do? Do we have a pen and paper? Later in the Soviet Union. Come fix our broken ass bridge. What? Soviets actually send someone. Hey, does someone want to bridge to fix? Yeah, me. Wait. The U.S. is like, no. Soviets not going to fix this bridge. We'll fix the bridge. God. I had never heard that story. So I saw that TikTok. I was like, what? I have never heard this story in my life. So I went and I started digging around. That's what the internet's good for. And yes, it's 100% true. How the Soviets helped Valkan, West Virginia, an American town, get a bridge. So here, let me bring this in real fast so you guys can see it. Drop that. Blackstone. No, not Blackstone. Get out of here. Texas. Oh, I wonder if I click it, if it goes to the top. We'll see. One of these days, I'll get it all figured out. Okay, so check this out. So this is the town right here. Oh, goddamn pop-ups. This is so gross, man. This is what our world's been reduced to. Look at that. I had to kill 3 pop-ups just so we could see it. Okay, so how the Soviet helped Valkan, an American town, get a bridge. So this article was dated 2019 in Southwest Virginia, near the border of Kentucky, the United States, in a small unincorporated community named Valkan. Valkan was once a thriving coal mining town, just like most of West Virginia, but is nearly 1960s. The mine dried up and many residents moved away in search of employment somewhere else. No longer a productive community. State forgot the town even existed. Yeah, because it wasn't incorporated, right? The town was on the fork of the Big Sandy River near the main line. Yoda, I know Yoda's going to be like, I know about that. There was no road connecting Valkyrie to Kentucky, crossing the river, only a suspension footbridge. The swinging bridge itself was on the verge of collapse with many footboards missing. Yet every morning, children had to walk across it to catch the bus on the Kentucky side. Sometimes they had to crawl under parked rail cars to get to the bridge, which was a dangerous practice. Let's see, 1975, it collapsed, and 50 families were no longer. They were told they were trespassing on the gravel road, the only other road that they had access to, because it was owned by a company, a corporation. Like, you can't do that. So this 42-year-old bartender wrote the Soviet embassy and asked them if they come help with the bridge. They got wind of the story and traveled to there and talked to everybody. The Russian journalist did, and the news of the small town went viral, and I guess the U.S. found out about it, and they committed $1.3 million to building the bridge. But it took Soviet pressure, literally, to get a bridge built in West Virginia in the late 70s. Are we shocked? I'm not shocked. I just thought that was a crazy story. What do you guys think? Yeah, the dark soul for sure. I love West Virginia. I spent some time there. Ripley and Wheeler. I think it was Wheeler. I have family over that way too. Beautiful country. Okay, let's see. What else do we got here? Oh yeah, that was the bridge. Oh yeah, this story, those fuckers. Get this. So the FDA gives Ohio State University a $3.9 million grant to create a bias study that proves adults don't need vape flavoring other than tobacco. So basically, they're saying too many kids are getting attracted to vaping because of the flavors. You guys know I vape. This is my flavor. I have raspberry here. We used to be able to get so many other good flavors like cotton candy, and you could get them in different milligrams. Well, under Trump, Big Tobacco pushed back and they won. And so now you're only allowed to get 3 different milligrams, and the flavors are just natural, like berry flavors, that type of thing. You can't get all the extravagant flavors. So they're trying to do away with any flavor, saying if you're going to vape, the only flavor you should have is tobacco flavor, which is not about vaping at all. I mean, it's insane. But Big Tobacco is still out there. They're dying. They are hysterically dying. Most of us grew up in those smoke-filled homes where every grandparent had a cigarette hanging out of their mouth. I know mine did. Every single person I know growing up smoked. All of my grandparents, my parents, aunts, uncles, everybody smoked. And it's a far, far different world now, right? So kudos to those who quit, even if you did it with vaping, because it's still a hard habit to kick. And it's nice not having that smell around me anymore. But this is Big Tobacco pushing back. They want their customers back, damn it. I'm vaping ice cream flavor Midnight Karma. That sounds awesome. I used to get like moon sugar, and I used to order these ones online that were really good. Yeah, weed is replacing it. You're not wrong, Bad Cookies. You are not wrong. That's how my partner got off of Big Tobacco, was big weed. that's the only way I can say it. But one way or another, as long as you're quitting, it's disgusting that's our government does that hand in hand. Here, give us a biased study. Oh, but that's the science, right? I mean, that's exactly the same shit they pulled with us in COVID. Like, oh, but this study says, yeah, but it's a study that you paid for. It's a biased fucking study. Okay, so this is from Died Suddenly. We remember them. They did the movie Died Suddenly, right? And so they're kind of showing the effects of the mRNA. Have you seen the magnets sticking to meat? I tried this and it worked.
People are noting that magnets are sticking to their arms. Many times it seems correlated to where they received the vaccine. A lot of people have been thinking about this and putting together theories and looking into the different evidence, and a new theory has emerged. Now, there are a few videos popping up on the internet of people finding that their meat causes magnets to stick to it. We can even see demonstrations where people are throwing magnets and it just sticks to the packaged meat. What do you guys think about this? Is this one explanation for why we could be seeing people with these magnetic, metallic properties?
Okay, so supposedly naturally raised. Lifting it, shaking it, lifting it.
This anomaly's been bugging the shit out of me. So I'm doing everything I can to stay away from that shot. But I think I figured out how they're doing it. It's in our meat supply. They're putting this shit in our food.
Yeah, they
years.
did it.
And I wanted to show you, I watched this raw meat video a second ago. And I came in the kitchen and I was like, well shit, let me try it. And I've been putting a magnet all over our meat. And the hamburger meat didn't do it, but the chicken meat definitely did it.
Yeah, sadly, I tried it and yeah, it stuck. I had some cube steaks out on the counter when I saw this, thawing out to make chicken fried steak because, hey, it's the trailer park. We deep fry everything. But I did. I grabbed a magnet off the fridge, walked over, and I was like, I'll be goddamned. It actually stuck to it. So that's the amount of heavy metals that are in our meat supply. I have been saying our meat supply has been shit for years now, and it is 100% shit. And they admitted it. I brought you guys a report like 6 months ago, maybe a year ago, where they said they're going to start mRNAing the chickens when they're babies. We've known this is happening. The only way you can eat healthy is to know where your food's coming from. And that's the only advice I have. Did you unwrap them, Chanda? No, but I will try to unwrap them next time. Cause I thought maybe it was just a fluke. So I was like, well, the next time I get some actual like sticks, I don't eat a lot of meat. I don't. I mean, for one, I'm poor, so I can only afford processed meats normally. And I just am so grossed out by our meat supply. I used to love a nice grilled steak or a broiled steak with a salad and a baked potato 20, 30 years ago. Anymore, I take a couple of bites of the steak and I'm just turned off by it. I don't know if it's our meat supply is different or maybe I've just changed as I've aged. I don't know, but I will try to unwrap them next time and see. Never have magnets stuck to me. Yeah, no, I've never done the magnet thing. I'm not jabbed, but we know how bad our food supply is. And it's not just our meat supply, guys. Bill Gates has got his patent for appeal, which is that stupid fucking housing that he's putting on fruits and vegetables. And it's out there. It's in the stores. You just got to start looking for the label. Anytime you're buying fruits and vegetables, make sure it doesn't have that appeal sticker on it and don't eat that shit. Humanity is 100% doomed, Denver. 100% doomed. I mean, at the rate we're going, if they don't get us one way, they're going to get us another, right? The air is poison. The water is poison. The food is poison. My water went out the other day. Something happened in the middle of the night. I don't know if a line broke further down or whatever. And so my water was on and off all day yesterday and getting all the air out of the lines. Oh my God, the amount of rocks and dirt that got just come out of the drain. I don't drink the water anyways. I haven't drank water from a tap in 20 fucking years. I mean, and I live in the Pacific Northwest. We're supposed to have clean water, right? But I don't, I don't think anybody should, depending where you're at. Oh, this is so bad, guys. Do you see this? Yeah, you think Wayfair is bad? Wait until you start waking up to what this picture means. What does this picture mean? This is the Red Shoe Society. Now, I've reported on the Red Shoe Society before, but I've noticed that a lot of those videos have been taken down. Somebody asked me about one of my Epstein Isaac Cappy videos, and I went and looked for it, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I think a lot of this type of information is gone. Yeah, you guys could do some dive into what the red shoe means, but typically it means human flesh. And let's hear from the global elites. What do they think?
We are the first species on the face of this earth to be aware of evolution, to be aware that we are affecting our own evolution by everything that we do. The babies we eat, the food we eat, the wars we fight, the babies we eat.
She said it. I didn't. You know, it's like I always say, they have to tell you what they're doing. That is the law of the universe. They have to tell you what they're doing, and they all do it. We had Harris this week telling us about depopulation. We got this chick telling us about how they eat the babies. Yeah, we know. We know. And that is why the #1 movie in the fucking country for the last 2 weeks has been The Sound of Freedom. And have you seen all the crazy shit they're doing to try to not get people to watch this movie in the theaters, like AMC? I've seen theaters where the AC is broken. I've seen theaters where the lights are stuck on. I've seen theaters, well, we don't have any water. I mean, it's insane. There's so many videos out there from all over the country where they're trying to stop people from coming in and viewing this damn movie, which is just making people want to see it all the more. And Critical Drinker dropped a good rant about it the other day, and he says it's a great movie. I trust his opinion because he's been dead right about all of Hollywood shit for years now. So I'll let you guys see that picture again one more time. Yeah, the red shoes. I'm not going to go into depth because I'm on YouTube this morning, but the Red Shoe Society is real, and it's been around since pre-World War. It's probably been around since like Aleister Crowley, I would think. I mean, when you go and you look at what Aleister was doing, that's a lot of this shit came from. Here's a message from Mel Gibson.
Interview, Mel Gibson made a number of cryptic references to a dark and evil side of Hollywood that he personally encountered.
When I came over here, I was in my mid-20s.
Right.
The first time I really came over here. You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
And nobody was really bothering to explain it to me.
They don't.
And and I formed a bunch of opinions about the town and about the people in it that were like, surely that couldn't be.
Couldn't be.
Because
they don't eat babies.
A whole place can't be like, you know, weird town. You know,
they don't all eat babies.
And all the people are in the bar and they all shut up when he looks at them. And they tell you don't go out of the house on the hill. And it's like that. And then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like. Could it? And then you find out later on the track that you are exactly on track with a lot of this stuff. Not specifically on track, but that you could, that some of your worst nightmares were real at the time. And you think, a place like this can humiliate you. And it can humiliate you, it can be humbling. I mean, it does rip your life to pieces if you'll let it.
Yeah.
And it's always pounding at the walls. These little guys, these little heathens with no soul downstairs with horns on their head with a battering ram trying to like beat your wall.
That is a real clip, guys. That clip's been around for years and years and years. I remember seeing it probably 2015 or 16. And yeah, it's like audio enhanced or something. And Mel Gibson, he's an actor. Well, it's crazy to me. A lot of the Australian actors and actresses, they pick up an American accent very easily. Look at Margot Robbie. I mean, there's a lot of them, Nicole Kidman, and then they slide back into it. So who knows? I don't know why he didn't have his Australian accent in that, but I know that he actually said that. And he said very similar things in other interviews. So, I mean, we're just pointing out the fact that these predators are out there and they have control. So this LinkedIn co-founder, Reid Hoffman, he went to Jeffrey Epstein's island, his child prostitution conviction, after his child prostitution conviction. So this guy, he's the LinkedIn co-founder, and he's been convicted of child prostitution. He's been to Epstein's Island, and he just became one of the biggest donors to the Joe Biden 2024 campaign. Imagine that. Imagine that. No, it can't just be a conspiracy. He's like a president, but for stupid people. Yeah. Yeah, I probably should have brought that to Uncensored. I'm thinking about changing up Uncensored just because I'm not on YouTube, so my viewing numbers are down, and I feel like production wise, I'm putting too much work into a show that I don't think that it's getting enough traction. So I'm thinking about changing it up, maybe doing an interview show. I got a lot of people that I want to chat with, like Jesse Jett or some of the people in independent media. So I'm thinking about doing that on Friday mornings, and that way it takes some of the pressure off of me from building so many shows because I have to turn around and build Beauty and the Boomer on Fridays too. So content wise, I think it might work. I don't know. We're changing it up. We'll see. Cardiac arrest, diagnosis. I'm just going to show you guys the chart. So there you go. I don't have to say anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm just showing you. Of course, this is from Israel Lab because Israel Lab knows, right? Didn't 99% of their population get vaccinated? Something like that. Something pretty close to that. Pretty sure. And me trying to find all the pro jabbers on social media now. Yeah, they've gone kind of silent lately. Have you noticed that? I have. And Crazy isn't questioning everything. Crazy is accepting everything without doing your own research. Absolutely. Right? But you're not allowed to do your own research. They don't like you doing your own research. Not at all. This is my Gen X moment. This is for all the Gen Xers out there. Y'all used to wear these. Don't think I forgot. I know I did. Oh my gosh, I had them in every color. And let me tell you, they were hell in the rain or snow. I don't know why we would wear those boots out in the rain. For one, the color would run off and turn your socks whatever color you had, and you pretty much just had moccasins with a boot heel. Is all you were wearing. So that was your Gen X moment. Oh, and a stoner corner. Stoner corner made it on here. When you're earthy and spiritual as fuck, but also a massive stoner. I've actually had this, but I think I had it in amethyst. Amethyst is more my stone, but I definitely have had that. Join me every Saturday for Stoner Corner on Beauty and the Boomer. I've got a lot of them for this week. Funny ones too. They did it to help their local community. Teenage sisters grow and hand out 240 tomatoes. Now that's gardening for the people. That's a great idea. And I'm actually doing that, you guys. I got so many sunflowers now. So many. So I'm going to start passing them out to people, like gifting them. I called a friend of mine, like, hey, you want some of these sunflowers? I just have too many now. And they're growing. Oh my gosh. They're probably 7 feet now. I'll get you guys a picture. I know I keep telling you that, but I'm going to get one. Gotta get one. We had a windstorm the other day. I had to go out and protect them all, man. The wind was just beating the crap out of my poor babies. My garden's looking good. Okay, you know what? I think we are so on time today. I'm so proud of myself because we have a really long closer. Ronnie Graham sent me this. Of course, on Wednesdays, we are now doing Trailer Park Blues / jazz. So that's what we're going to do. You guys want to send me your songs? Send me your songs. If I can play them without taking a copyright strike, I will. Y'all know how YouTube is. So today has been a good show. If you want to help me out, you can help Chanda get to the land of Oz. You can just screenshot the screen right now, and there is the QR code. If not, there's links in the descriptions down below. Okay, let's see what's going on this week. Friday. You guys got to join me on Friday night, Rokfin and Patreon only. We're doing a special movie night. It's called Hobo, and I'm going to give you my personal experience. I used to live on a commune in the 90s when this movie was filmed with some of the people that are in the movie, and I'm just excited for you to see it, for us to talk about, the freight jumpers and what we called hobos growing up. I don't think they've called them that in many, many years, but it's a great old documentary from the 90s. So that'll be fun. Rokfin only. Beauty and the Boomer. I haven't had a chance to have a talk with Oz to see if he's feeling up to running yet, but either way, you'll still get a Beauty and the Boomer. It'll either be Beauty and the Boomer or it'll be Beauty in the Trailer Park. But either way, we'll be hanging out Saturday night. And I'm in talks with a couple of special guests to stop by the show probably next week, just because this week has been so crazy, but we got a lot of good stuff coming up. You guys are always amazing. Thank you so much for joining me. Rokfin, Denver Attaway, Gregory. Who else is over there? I saw Jim was over there. Hey, Jim, I didn't get a chance to say hi this morning. Who else? Leonard Trust Fund. Hi, Leonard. How are you? I got Carrie. Hi, Carrie. I need to get glasses so bad. I have glasses. I just need better ones, I guess is what it is. I screwed up and got bifocals. I just need the bifocal part as a glass because I hate the bifocal. So I guess next time that's what I'll do. I went and did that $69 2 pairs at American's Best scam. That's a scam, guys. That is a fucking scam, 100%. Like, I think I walked out of there, it was $500, and I got like the cheapest shit I could get. So yeah, that's the eye exam. And I don't know where they're saying that they 2 pairs of glasses because I don't give you shit. So, and on the YouTubes and Kick and Rumble that are all crimed into one, we got Popeye, P-Stuff, Jilly, Go Start. Hey, Vic, I got your email. I'm so sorry, Vic. DC's over there. Who else? Kim, Bad Cookies. Bad Cookies, I'm glad to see you came back. Hi, V. Hi, V. John's here, too. Fuck Biden. Yeah. What is it? Zava? I agree. Well, all of you who joined me. I've been up since like 5 a.m. I'm hitting that first burnout of the day, right? And then I'll hit another one about 3 or 4 o'clock. That's the way it always rolls. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me everywhere, wherever you joined me. And yeah, let's see. What do we got for a closer? Oh, I didn't talk about Julian Assange. Holy shit, guys. Julian Assange. So the UK decision to allow the extradition of Assange is vindictive and a real blow to media freedom, Amnesty, a chilling message to journalists the world over, and the RSF. Implications of journalism around the world can't be overstated. Hashtag free Assange. Get ready, guys. Get ready to protest, because if they extradite Assange, which it sounds like that's where we're heading, we're going to have to bring it full fucking stop here in the United States. We've known this. We'd hope that it didn't come to this. We still hope it doesn't come to this, but I know you guys will be out there supporting all of the free Assange activists, because free Assange. This is insane. Okay, so we are closing today. I've been sitting on this one for a couple of weeks. Ronnie Graham sent it to me. Thank you so much. And please send me your guys' music, and if I can play it, I will. So today we're going out with Curtis Mayfield cover. Of course, Curtis Mayfield is somebody that Dr. Cornel West quotes all the time, right? My brother, he's just chilling. And so I thought we would chill today, and we're going to chill for Move On Up. And this is a Jaden Carlson band cover. So I don't think I'll take a strike for it, but even if I do, it's worth it. You guys have a great Wednesday. Stay cool out there, and I will see you on Friday.
you.